Welcome to Little Stories, Big Values, where we learn life's biggest lessons through small, heartfelt stories. Today, we read joining a young boy named Sam on a journey that will teach us all something important about telling the truth. We've all been there, right? That moment you get a test back and the grade isn't what you hoped for. You see the red marks, the low number, and your heart just sinks. You start to worry what your parents will think. Will they be disappointed? Will they be angry? For Sam, a simple math test with a score of 3 out of 10 felt like the end of the world. He was so afraid of disappointing his mom, who always believed in him. But as we'll see, sometimes the fear of the truth can lead us down a path that is much harder than just being honest from the start. What happens when a little lie starts to grow into a big, heavy secret? Let's find out in Sam's story about honesty and courage. The school bell chimed, signaling the end of another busy day. Inside Mrs. Davis's colorful classroom, the air was filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. It was test day results. Mrs. Davis walked around the room, a stack of papers in her hand, her smile warm and encouraging as always. "All right, class," she said cheerfully. "I have your math tests here. Remember, these scores don't define who you are. They're just a signpost, showing us what we need to work on together." She placed a paper on each desk. Some students cheered, others sighed. When she reached Sam's desk, she placed his test face down and gave his shoulder a gentle squeeze. "We'll get there, Sam," she whispered softly. Sam's heart pounded in his chest. He slowly flipped the paper over. A big red circle around a 3/10 stared back at him. His stomach twisted into a knot. He felt a hot flush of shame creep up his neck. Quickly, before anyone could see, he shoved the test deep into his backpack, burying it under his books and lunchbox as if hiding it would make the bad grade disappear. The happy chatter of his classmates faded into a dull buzz in his ears. All he could think about was that awful number, 3 out of 10. How could he possibly show this to his mom? The walk home felt 10 times longer than usual. Each step was heavy, as if the backpack on his shoulders was filled with rocks instead of books. The sun was shining, birds were singing, but Sam didn't notice any of it. He was trapped in a gray cloud of his own worry. He kicked a loose pebble along the sidewalk, watching it skitter ahead of him, wishing he could kick his problems away just as easily. As he turned the corner onto his street, he saw his mom waiting on the porch, a bright, welcoming smile on her face. Her smile usually made him feel warm and safe, but today it just made his guilt feel heavier. "Sam, my superstar. How was your day?" she called out, opening her arms for a hug. Sam ran into her embrace, burying his face in her side. The hug felt so comforting, but it also made the secret in his backpack feel like a burning coal. "So," she said, pulling back to look at him, her eyes sparkling with anticipation, "how did you do on your big math test today?" The question hung in the air. Sam's mind raced. He opened his mouth, the truth on the tip of his tongue. But then fear took over, fear of her disappointment, fear of losing that proud sparkle in her eyes. And in that split second, a different story came out. I did great, Mom," he mumbled, looking down at his shoes. "I got a 9 out of 10. His mom's face lit up with pure joy. A 9. "Oh, Sam, that's wonderful. I knew you could do it. I'm so proud of you." She pulled him into another tight hug, this one filled with celebration. As she held him, Sam felt a sharp pang in his chest. It felt like his heart was cracking, a tiny fissure created by the weight of his lie. The happy moment wasn't happy for him at all. It was just a painful reminder of the truth he was hiding. That evening, the dinner table was set for a special celebration. His mom had made his favorite meal, spaghetti and meatballs, and his dad was home early from work. A 9 out of 10, son. That's fantastic. His dad boomed, ruffling Sam's hair. This calls for a celebration. You've been working so hard. They all sat down and his mom served him a huge plate. Eat up, my little genius, she said, beaming. But Sam couldn't eat. The meatballs tasted like cardboard and the spaghetti felt like worms in his mouth. Every word of praise felt like a sharp jab. You're a real whiz, Sam, his dad continued. See? Hard work always pays off. Sam just poked at his food, his appetite completely gone. The happy family dinner felt like a scene from a play where he was the only one who knew the terrible secret. That night, sleep didn't come easily. He tossed and turned, the lie replaying in his mind. He dreamt of a giant number 3 chasing him down the school hallways. He dreamt of his mom's happy face turning to a sad, disappointed one. He woke up in a sweat, the guilt a heavy blanket he couldn't throw off. The little lie he had told to avoid a moment of disappointment had now grown into a monster, haunting his every waking and sleeping moment. He was beginning to realize that the lie was far more painful than the bad grade ever could have been. A week later, a new kind of dread filled Sam's school day. It was folder day. Every Friday, Mrs. Davis would send home a folder with all the students' graded work from the week for their parents to review and sign. Sam had completely forgotten. As Mrs. Davis started collecting the blue folders to stuff with papers, panic seized him. His 3 out of 10 test was still crumpled at the bottom of his backpack. He knew he had to put it in the folder. There was no escape this time. The walk home that Friday was even worse than the last. He held the blue folder in his hand and it felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. When he got home, his mom greeted him with her usual warm smile. Hi, sweetie. Let me see your folder. She took the folder and sat down on the sofa, opening it with a smile. She flipped through the first few pages, a spelling quiz with a perfect score, a colorful art project. This all looks great, Sam, she said, and then she got to the last paper. The crumpled, wrinkled math test. The smile vanished from her face. She looked at the big, red 3/10. Then she looked at Sam. The silence in the room was deafening. Sam's eyes filled with tears. He couldn't hold it in any longer. A huge sob escaped his throat and then another and another. He burst into tears, the guilt and fear he'd been carrying all week finally spilling out. I'm sorry, Mom, he cried between sobs. I didn't get a 9, I got a 3. I was scared you'd be mad. I'm so sorry. Instead of the anger Sam had been expecting, he felt his mom's arms wrap around him. She pulled him close, letting him cry on her shoulder. She gently stroked his hair until his sobs began to quiet down. When he finally looked up, her eyes weren't angry. They were soft and full of love. Oh, Sam, she said gently. Thank you for telling me the truth. She took a deep breath and continued, listen to me. I'm not upset about the grade. A 3 out of 10 just means we have some work to do, and we can do it together. What hurt was the lie. Your honesty is so much more important to me than any number on a piece of paper. I will always love you no matter what grade you get. But we must always be truthful with each other. That's what makes our family strong. Her words washed over Sam like a warm, comforting wave, washing away the guilt. That weekend, they didn't punish him. Instead, they sat down together at the kitchen table. His mom patiently went over the math problems he got wrong, explaining them in a new way until he understood. They practiced with flashcards and even played a fun math game his dad found online. For the first time, studying didn't feel like a chore. It felt like teamwork. It felt like love. The following week, when Mrs. Davis announced another math quiz, Sam didn't feel that familiar dread. He felt a little nervous, but he also felt prepared. He had studied hard, not out of fear, but with the support of his family. He took the quiz, his pencil moving confidently across the page. A few days later, Mrs. Davis handed back the graded quizzes. Sam took a deep breath and looked at his paper. This time, a bright blue 7/10 was circled at the top. It wasn't perfect, but it was a huge improvement. He couldn't wait to get home. He burst through the front door, waving the paper in the air. "Mom, look." His mom took the quiz, and a genuine, proud smile spread across her face. "Sam, this is amazing." "A 7. Look how your hard work paid off," she said, giving him a huge hug. But then she leaned in and whispered, "And you know what I'm most proud of? Your honesty. You were brave enough to tell the truth and face the problem, and look what you accomplished." Sam smiled, a real happy smile this time. He learned a very important lesson that week. Truth is always greater than perfect scores. Always tell the truth. Thank you for watching our story today. If you learned something valuable, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Little Stories Big Values for more. See you next time.